We're going to do some work on the peak performance trading disciplines tonight. This is all to help towards becoming consistent, which I think is what we're all aiming for. We've got some new stuff happening as well. I don't know if any of you are not on the mentoring at the moment. If anyone's not mentoring with us at the moment, it's completely free, so you can let us know as well. We'll go through that again towards the end as well. Myself and Lev are both mentoring with Ken, and it's coming on. It's good. Anyway, I'm gonna pass you across to Lev, and we'll get going. Over to you, Lev.
Thank you very much, Derek. I always enjoy presenting with you. And good evening, everyone. Good afternoon for those of us that are living either in Canada or in the U.S. It's 3 o'clock over here, but it's looking like it's nighttime already. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, David. Good to see you again. Irvin, nice to see you as well. Victoria, welcome. It's the first time that I see you, so I hope that you're going to enjoy the material that's going to be given tonight. Any of you guys' feedback, comments is more than appreciated. You know, this is a constant journey and we're always looking to become better. So please, if any comments you have, please give them at the end, or any questions, of course. So yes, we're going to be talking today about peak performance trading discipline. And I'm going to give a bit of a background story as to how I got involved into NeuroTrader. So I'm 24 years old today. I traded for the first time at 18 years old. And I made about 3 times my money at 18. And I thought, you know, this is it. I'm going to be a millionaire by the end of the year. And we're going to be partying and having a mansion. And we're going to have loads of fun. Of course, I'm pretty sure you know what happened. I ended up burning through my whole account, blowing up quite several times, actually. I blew up maybe 3 or 4 times. And it came to a point where, you know, of course, we all hit rock bottom at a certain point in our lives, and we're like, man, it can't keep going like this. So I ended up had a lot of debt, paid it all off, and I told myself, all right, this is it. This time, I'm going to be approaching this seriously. And one thing led to another. I got introduced to Ken Medanic, the founder and president of NeuroTrader, in which I got involved in July 2016, which was a year and a few months ago. And it's been quite the ride. And actually, I never thought, and I'll share the biggest lesson that I learned through this process, which I did not expect at all, but I'm definitely in love with. So, peak performance trading discipline. Let's start. What is peak performance? Briefly, before we delve into the discipline, I think it's important to know what is peak performance. So, peak performance is a state of mind. It's something we aim for consistently at our best every single day. You know, again, some days, as I'll say during the presentation, it's very important. It's very present in the scheme as well, that it's important to have self-compassion, self-love. This is something we got used to beating ourselves up, and here it's doing the exact opposite of that. It's being patient with ourselves, telling ourselves, you know, it's fine. Yes, there's days where, you know, we're not quite there, but we recognize it and we do our best to go for it. So, of course, as you can see, as we all know, sleep. What is the amount of hours that we feel is the best for our bodies? I know my father, for instance, I know he functions very well at 4 hours of sleep a night. I could not do that. If I do 4 hours of sleep, you'll see me sleeping on a bench outside somewhere. I simply cannot function in 4 hours of sleep. So this is, of course, very different for all of us. I know the standard says it's 8 hours. Could be around it. I know personally I go for 8 hours. I'm fine with it. So it's very important to find what is good for us, because sleep is, you know, we spend a third of our life sleeping, so might as well do it well a third of our time. Nutrition, of course, as you know, eating well, eating what we think is well is good for our bodies. Again, peak performance is not about limiting ourselves. It's about doing things in love. So when, let's say, we want to go ahead and grab that ice cream, are we grabbing it because we want to, you know, because we're having a heartbreak, or because you know, it's been tough lately, or because we truly want that ice cream? You know, there's a difference as to why we eat. Are we eating because we want to eat the emotions, or are we eating because we actually want to eat it? So that's very good to notice as well. Support network. Of course, the people around us are tremendously, tremendously the best word that comes to mind is, again, important. I love saying that word. So the support network means all the people around us. It means the family, the friends, the girlfriend, the boyfriend, the wife, the husband, anyone that is in our life. We want their approval. We as social beings, as human beings, we want the approval of others. So because we want the approval of others, well, then it's better that we surround ourselves with the right people. Because if we surround ourselves with people who will only see the problems and not the solutions, well, of course, eventually they'll get to us, and eventually we'll start ourselves seeing all the problems and not the solutions in life. So that's very good to note as well. Love of the craft, of course, the passion. Trading is a very solitary journey. Um, we spend a lot of time in front of our screens. We don't necessarily talk to people as we do it. Me myself, I'm a prop trader now at FCL Trade, which is, by the way, the market maker for the Montreal Derivatives Exchange here in Canada, Montreal. And of course, there's some guys over there, but when I trade, I'm very much in my zone. I have my earphones and I don't talk to anyone. So this is a way of trading. I'm very happy with it. And of course, the love of the craft. So doing it with passion. It's not like every day you wake up giggling and you're like, all right, today I'm gonna go ahead and trade. No, again, it varies, but that inner voice, that intuition, what pushes us to do it again and again and again, it's important to listen to that voice. That's the love. The love is mellow. It's not something. It's not fireworks. It's a candle that burns continuously. So love of the craft. And exercise, as we know, I just came back from the gym. Feel great. Exercise, it's very important. If you've never done it, it's fine. Just start one day a week. It's very good. Mental state, it helps, as we all know. Healthy habits, limiting beliefs. We all know what are our healthy habits. Limiting beliefs, a lot less. I know for myself, I personally, with yesterday's meeting that we had with the team, I realized the limiting belief that I had that impacted my trading. And it took me a year and a few months to find out about it, and I'll share it with you guys. It was the scarcity mindset, right? So the abundance mindset and the scarcity mindset. So what does it mean? The scarcity mindset is I'm looking for money. So when I say I need money, essentially what I'm truly saying is I like money. So of course I project that onto the markets, because when I say I need money, well, I trade because I don't have money. So because I trade and I say to myself subconsciously that I'm trading and I'm projected into the markets, well, of course, obviously I'm not going to be getting it because I'm telling myself that I don't have any of it because I need it. So that was a limiting belief that I'm working with right now. I'm very happy that I found out about it. And so yes, it's a big journey. And the last one, self-compassion. Self-compassion. Again, closing the loop here. Got to be patient with ourselves, guys. Really. I'm one who was very tough on myself before. Still am sometimes. We want to perform and want to be good at our things, but it's okay. Everything's fine. Everything will happen. It's just important to give ourselves time. So what is my own peak performance trading discipline? And peak performance trading discipline is a process that is set in stone from which we do not diverge from. That's very good, because what it does is that as human beings, we gradually navigate and gravitate toward routine, something that we know. All right, so I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'll know what I do at 5:05. I'll know what I do at 5:10. And it doesn't have to be this precise as well. But given the sense of routine helps our mental state where we know what we're doing. So therefore we can give more energy to the game time. So to the trading when we're actually trading, not having to worry, all right, so I got to take care of the groceries. I got to go ahead and go exercise. I got to watch the kids, and everything is very regimental when you trade. As much as possible, it's important to have a very regimented approach prior to the trading itself and after as well. Afterwards, of course, it's our own lives, but it's important to keep consistency as well in all other areas of our lives, because, of course, if our trading is discipline and the rest of our life is a mess, well, it's like minus 1 plus 1 and equals to 0, so it just nulls itself, right? And so what's my own routine? So pre-trading routine. I wake up at 5:15 a.m. to be at my trading desk by 7:15. What I do before that, I eat well. I give this presentation here in person, and one person asked me what did I eat. I told that person, listen, I actually had I like salmon, and even though it's breakfast, I don't really mind eating salmon in the morning. And again, it's because I like it, right? So that's important. It's to do something we like because we want to have pleasure while we're doing it. We don't want to force ourselves and be like, all right, I don't like this, but I'm going to force myself and force feed myself. It's got to be an enjoyable experience. You don't want to feel like shit whilst you're trading, basically. And so, and so, of course, afterwards, meditation. Meditation. I do 6 minutes a day. Why 6 minutes? Because when I did 5, I felt it wasn't enough, so I jumped to 6. Now I'm actually lately looking to go probably to 7, and the first time that I started meditation was in May. It's very, very good. I recommend it a lot. The way that I meditate is really, I imagine myself that I'm inhaling white smoke and that I exhale black smoke, as in, like pure energy, and then you exhale all the crap that's inside of your body. Really helps when you really get into that state. You really start getting into flow of things. Pray. That's of course, if you're a more spiritual person, I pray, and then I visualize as well what I aspire towards, what it is that I'm looking to achieve whilst I'm doing this. Now, the routine itself, when I'm actually in the planning process of the trading. So when I get to the floor, usually 7:15, 7:20. And what I do at that point, I start at 7:30. At 7:30, I start the routine that we've developed, that Ken has developed over here at NeuroTrader. And what I do is that I spend 30 minutes practicing abdominal breathing. And what I do through that, I identify support and resistance levels, direction of the market, entry and exit. The session usually lasts until 10 o'clock, and I take, of course, 1 trade per session. Afterwards, at the end of that, what I do, I write my lessons. Before, when this all started, my lessons were a lot like I'm sure many of us have done already. Oh, all right, so that support line wasn't very well placed, or that resistance line wasn't very well placed. But as I progressed and as I got more and more involved into, of course, what we're doing here, psychophysiology, I recognized that it wasn't so much the support or resistance lines that I was now looking at for the lessons, but it became more, how did I feel inside? How did my body feel when I placed that trade? Was I nervous? Was I thinking about something else? So that's what the lessons got into. And of course, sometimes, I realized that I was thinking about completely something different than focusing on trading. And of course, the results were there. I ended up getting stopped out instead of having my profit happen. And I also, when it's a good trade, which I'll share at the end as well, a good trade that I'm very proud of and happy of, it's important to congratulate ourselves. Pat ourselves on the back, say again, we did a good job, and do it very humbly. Not be cocky, not be like, oh shit, I'm the man. I'm gonna be owning this world now. No, really in a humble way. It's fine. It's fine to do a good job. I don't think we do it enough, so it's important to congratulate ourselves. The benefits of having a disciplined approach. So the benefits, I spoke about them a little bit, and I'm gonna go a little bit more about it in detail here. So structure, what it means is that, let's say we're having a system. So all right, we're gonna follow XYZ. We're gonna follow these rules for, let's say, 30 days. Now that means that within 30 days, or 60, 90 days, whatever amount of days that we set, but we followed that religiously. And within 30 days, we can then look back and say, all right, is the method that I've developed, is it working? And that means that for those 30 days, we don't change nothing in that method, because if we change something, which can be anything, which can be from the starting time, which can be from how many securities we trade, which can be how many trades we take, that changes the whole game. So it's good to set up a structure and to evaluate ourselves with no emotions, with no subjective feeling, saying, oh, but I feel this is a good thing. No, really, it allows us to be very impartial to know whether or not we can be profitable within a set amount of time. Focus, a disciplined approach, and I know for myself, when I go to the floor, it really becomes, speaking for myself, I really became almost not like a robot, because a robot doesn't have emotion. So I still have emotion, I still have feelings, but when I go to the floor, I do things mechanically. I'm like, all right, now I know this is where I'm going to be placing my entry line. Now I know this is where I place my support line. This is where I place my resistance lines. It's not so much as, okay, what I'm going to do now, right? Because that questioning, what it does is that you start spending energy on something that is other than the trading. So we start not focusing on what's really happening. And Irvin, you have a question. Sounds like a good strategy, but what happens if you're late one day? Do you do the entire routine until finish or cut it short in order to keep the time? Excellent question, Irvin. And it happened to me personally. I still do the whole routine. Sometimes I start, I could start some days. It happened that I started at 7:40, 7:45, and it's fine, right? It's important again not to beat ourselves, which I did before, right? I would beat myself and be like, "Oh man, why did you come late?" But no, again, it's fine. So yes, do the whole routine because there's always opportunities, right? And that goes back to I see myself, right? The scarcity mindset because what we're thinking when we're saying that is that, oh shit, we might actually miss a shot. We might actually miss the opportunity. So what we're essentially saying to ourselves is that damn, there's not a lot of opportunities, so I better do everything right. Whereas an abundance mindset will be like, all right, it's fine. I came late 10 minutes today. It's okay. I had to take care of a few things, and but it's okay because the market will still give me an opportunity. So it's important to keep the routine. So yes, Irvin, do the routine always. I've always done it myself, and there's been days where I came super late. Even I even started at 8 sometimes, and I still did my profit, and I still did the whole routine. And so yes, do the whole routine. Excellent question. Character building, we always look up. Yesterday, Ken did a very excellent example in our meeting. I'm sure you remember, Derek, when he spoke about Roger Federer. The reason why we look up to these people in our lives and that we pay whatever amount of money to watch them play or watch them execute their craft is because of the consistency. We as humans respect consistency. When we see someone that is stable, when we see someone that is consistent, we respect that in others because we want to have that in ourselves, right? So that's what it does. It builds their character. So when it's a little bit rough on the edges and it's not so easy, then you can go back and tell yourself, all right, it's fine. It happens, and I've gone through that already. I'll be fine, and I'll do just well. And that, as I've repeatedly said, and I'll say it over because this is, you know what, I'll share with you guys what's been my biggest lesson. It's been the self-love. I never thought that in a year, in what is it now, 3 months? In a year and 3 months, yes, that my biggest lesson would, because within 6 months I turned profitable, right? So I had a 68% success rate. Now I'm back to break even and a bit on the losing side, but it's fine. I'm looking forward to going back to consistently profitable. I changed my routine a lot during the rest of the 6 months because a lot of changes were happening in life. But what it helped me do, all this, was the self-love. It's important to be patient with ourselves. I never thought that going into NeuroTrader or starting this routine and starting this disciplined approach to life, that my biggest lesson would be like, shit, man, I didn't actually enjoy myself. I was too hard on myself, right? So and now it's really, it's a lot better. So if I can say one thing, is that let's be patient with ourselves, guys. Let's give ourselves time. There's a reason why not a lot of people succeed in trading. It's because we're not patient enough with ourselves, right? We wanna succeed now. We wanna succeed today. But the beauty of the profession is that there's no other profession in the world that allows you to come into the morning, make, let's say, whatever, 100K or whatever amount of money, and then just go out in the streets and be totally unknown. There's no other job in the world that offers that, right? So when we think about that, we're like, all right, well then there's a reason why there's so few succeed in it. Because the few that succeed in it, well, that's because they learn to give themselves time and be patient with themselves. Every path is different. Some practical advice of what personally helped me, and I hope will help you as well, to really become the trader you're looking to become if you aren't already. Maybe you're watching this today and you're like, all right, I'm already profitable, that I could use this as a reminder, which is fine. I'm giving this presentation myself. I remind myself constantly of the concepts I was taught a year ago. So mentorship. I'm blessed and very grateful to be mentored by a great man, Ken Medanic, and whenever I need something, whenever I have a fear, whenever I have doubts, whenever I have something that I'm worried about, he's always an email away, right? Even though he's in Europe right now and I'm still in Montreal, there's not been a single time that I sent an email and I had to send it again because I didn't get a response. And that's extremely, extremely, extremely important. To get a mentor, to get someone where you'd like to be, it's very, very inspirational first. And of course, because that person has been where we are right now. So they know the struggle. They know what's the path like. So surround ourselves with someone that is where we'd like to be. And one step at a time. If we've never followed any routine, which is what happened to me, a little secret with you guys, I was actually kicked out from high school, believe it or not. And to be today given a presentation on trading discipline, I came all the way from that. So what I want to say is that I was the sort of guy, my routine was chaos, right? My routine was no routine at all, but that was my routine. And so when I actually met Ken and when I got involved into NeuroTrader and told me, listen, you actually have it in you and having done military as well over here in Canada, well, I never thought that I could do it, but actually a small voice in me said, you know what? Maybe you can actually do this and maybe you have it in you. And I would never go back to how I was before. Very grateful for what happened, but today, really, so what I want to say with this is one step at a time. If we are in a position today, it's nothing is fixed. Nothing is absolutely fixed. Everything is changeable. Everything is flexible. If we've never worked out before, if we've never, let's give the example of push-up. I like that example. I like sports a lot. So push-ups, right? If we've never done push-ups in our lives, to expect to come the next day and do, let's say, 3 sets of 30 push-ups, that's insane. What about if we do 1 push-up a day, just 1 push-up, right? That's absolutely nothing. That we could do that with our eyes closed, right? So 1 push-up a day, but we keep it consistently for every single day of the week. And then let's say today it's what? It's Monday, right? So let's say next Monday, we come back and we up it to 2 push-ups. By the end of the year, we're looking at 52 push-ups a day. How many of us have done 52 push-ups a day? I know myself, I haven't done it. Not push-ups, but I do pull-ups. So this is what I'm saying, is that 1 push-up, that's absolutely nothing, right? And so that's exactly why we have to do it. We're so used to thinking, all right, so because I'm doing this, I'm going to go big, right? The go big or go home attitude sort of thing that is very popular and it's very, very like, ooh, we're excited about this. But the go big or go home attitude is like a rocket which ends up with no fuel. What 1 step at a time does is that you're building that character, you're building that confidence, because then you can come back, let's say in a month, and be like, hey, I'm actually doing 4 push-ups every single day. And then look back in 2 months and you're doing 8. And then just 3 months, that's absolutely nothing. That's 12 weeks. You're looking at doing 12 push-ups a day. How many of us do 12 push-ups a day in here, right? So again, 1 step at a time. The power of that attitude is, in my opinion, very, very big. And as I've said many, many times, self-compassion. Trading is one of the most difficult professions in the world. Let's be easy on ourselves. I believe that we all here can make it. There's no one that cannot make it as a trader. If any of us has seen the movie Trading Places, I think it's an excellent metaphor for what is trading. We can take anyone out on the street and make them a successful trader. I think that is possible. The only reason why we don't make it is because we give up not on trading, but we give up on ourselves. So it's good to be patient with ourselves. For some of us, it'll take us a year. For some of us, it'll take us 5. Personally, I've been 6 years into this, and there's been many, many times where I wanted to give up. And I gave up, actually. The first year or two, I was like, nah, you know what? I'm not going to go with it. But every time I came back to it. Every time I came back to it. And now this time, I'm actually going to make it. So this is just a matter of being patient. And one thing that I learned and that was given to me is that we have all the answers within us, right? So I'm giving this presentation today, and some things you can take home and be like, all right, this was a good presentation. And some of the things to be like, no, it's fine. I don't really believe that, which is okay, by the way, which is okay. But if I think one thing that works for all of us is the grabbing a pen and writing down a question. I'll show it in the next slide what it looks like. So sometimes what we do when we have a question, we start asking others, but we already have the answers within us. All we have to do is really just sit down and write down the question. Be very specific about the questions and not resist what comes out. The answer that comes out is most likely our intuition. It's most likely what we aspire towards, what we want ourselves to become, right? I know for myself, when I was very undisciplined and very, very chaotic, I always had a voice, oh man, if only I was disciplined, right? So eventually I became that. And what it looks like is this. This is my, you can call it vision board, what I write on. And this is a question that I wrote here. Very, very, very specific. What do I need to do to become a 60 consistently profitable trader? And those answers, all the answers that came out without absolutely any resistance. I didn't have to think. I didn't guess. I didn't doubt. I just wrote down what came out, right? So for me, it was generating income weekly through work or business, to pay debts, sleep 8 hours a night around the same time, work out 3 times a week, study part-time in university, go out at least once a week, socialize, and learn a new language. I don't know why. I don't know why. Learn a new language came out, and I'm not going to be asking questions, but this is what came out when I asked the questions. What do I need to do to become a 60% consistently profitable trader? And actually, as I'm saying this now, I remember that when I actually reached 68% success rate within those first 6 months, I was actually learning Spanish. So maybe, maybe I just need to go back to continuing to learn Spanish. So that's funny enough, but I think the confirmation's here. And of course, these are some of the pictures of what I'd like to achieve, and we can have whatever we want in here. So this pretty much sums up everything that I've had to present today. The trade here is an example of a disciplined, rigorous, regimental approach. It's very simple. There's no. I like to keep my charts simple. I don't overload them with technicals, or I don't overload them with any details. As you can see, it's very simple. I don't have news. I don't have volume. Very, very much based on psychophysiology, which is what I specialize myself in. And yeah, as you can see, the long was at the white line here. I'm showing this trade because, of course, it was a very good trade. It ended up going exactly and respected every single line, which is great. The white line was my entry, so I went long on the white entry. And because I aimed for 10 pips, 10 pips was about here. But I planned, I think it was something like 30 or 40 pips. Pips, by the way, for those of us that don't do Forex, it's the equivalent of ticks. So you could say it's 30 to 40 ticks. But of course, it's not so much in equities. A tick has not the same value as in Forex. But for the sake of simplicity, let's call it ticks. So you're looking at this was about 10 ticks. This was about 30 to 40 ticks, and which was great because that day, now I don't remember specifically that day, but I'm pretty sure I was in the right state of mind. I did my routine, and there's been more than one example of a trade like this where I really pinpointed this is the 5-minute chart. As you can see, it was really a good open. This is 8:30 by the way on the Eastern time zone. So it was a very good trade. Very happy about it. As you can see, really went to the top here, which is a overbought line that I have placed, and then went down short. I don't know what else the price did. I don't recall, but I'm pretty sure it continued to go down because as you can see, the selling pressure is quite strong. So yeah, that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. I think I went through what I think is the essential part of it. And I would love to hear your questions if you have any, your feedback, your comments. You know, I am, if some of you are starting out, I am exactly where you are when you started out. So I know what's the process like. I'm halfway on it. So if you guys have any questions, and to have that confidence that you can now become a successful trader, that's something that you can definitely get with time. So again, if you guys have any questions, if you have any feedback,